Hi, my name is Aishwarya, and today I'll be giving a brief presentation for the chapter 7 of SQL for the slides 96 to 99. So the first slide talks about the set aggregate function count. So here is a query to find the student IDs and names of all the students who has taken a course, 5 or more courses. So first we are doing is like, the query is like select SID name from students table, where select count from enrollment, where SID is equal to students tables, that is S dot SID, which is greater than or equal to 5. What we are doing here is like, we are joining both student and enrollment tables using SID and checking the number of courses, whether it is greater than or equal to 5. If it is greater than or equal to 5, that student's SID and name will be fetched from the students table. So that is the query which we are implementing here. We can look at an example. I have taken a student table with SID, first name, last name, status, GPA, and email. And I have an enrollment table for those students. So here the query I'm giving is like select SID, first name from students, where select count from enrollments, where SID is equal to students.SID. So here I'm joining the enrollment table and students table with SID, and I'm taking the count of the courses and I'm checking whether the count of courses is greater than or equal to 5. If it is greater than or equal to 5, that student's SID and first name will be fetched from the students table. So if we look in the enrollment table, the student with ID B001 is having 6 courses. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And hence the student with, and we'll go to students table and see the student ID B001, first name Annie, should be our result. And hence this is our result shown because she has taken 5 or more courses. The next set aggregate function we are going to talk about is average. Here, we are finding the average GPA for students of different age groups. So we are categorizing it, grouping it by age. So one tuple will be generated for each distinct value of age. So for every age, an average GPA will be calculated. That is, if this is the students table and the ages are like 19, 20, and 21. And for every, for age 19, the GPA will be calculated like 3.6 plus 3.8 by 2. For example, that's written here. And 3.7 for age 19, 3.7 will be the average GPA, and hence that is shown here. Similarly, for age 20, average GPA will be calculated like 3.2 plus 3.8 by 2. And that is 3.5, and that will be shown in the result table. And hence for age 21. So this is the result table generated according to the query we have given. Let us look at an example like before. Here, I have taken the student table and I have queried it using status. That is, I have grouped them using status instead of age. So in the status group, we have junior, senior, graduate, and freshman. So every students will be, the average GPA will be calculated according to the status. So in the result table, we can see senior, freshman, graduate, and junior. And senior will be calculated as 3.8 plus 3.7 plus 4 by 3. And that the result is 3.833. And hence freshman, graduate, and junior. Similar to the before query. The same query with, we are just grouping them by status. So every tuple will be, like I said, every tuple will be generated for each distinct value of status here instead of age. If we have a table of age, we can similarly do for age. So what we did is like, this is a brief conclusion. When group by is used, each attribute in the select clause must have a single atomic value for each group of common group by values. That is, each attribute in the select clause should be either a grouping attribute or an attribute of a set function which is applied. Like we have seen. So the select function should be having either a grouping attribute, which is age. Here the grouping attribute is age, or a function which is done on an attribute. So average is the aggregate function. We are doing the average set aggregate function on the attribute GPA. So that is the first point. And every grouping attribute should be listed in the select clause. Here the grouping attribute is age, and grouping attribute is age, and it is present in the select clause. So that is the meaning of every attribute should be listed in the select clause. Thank you.